Hi everyone, this is Karen Hooley, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to weave in ends. Now I have a way of weaving in ends that's very different from other people. My grandmother taught me how to do this back in 1974-75, and I've been doing it ever since. And with this particular technique, I have Afghans that I made when I was like 12 years old, and they're 30 plus years old, almost 40 years old now. And I've washed them, my grandmother used them, and they have never had an end pop out. So I have been asked many times to show how to do this, and I decided to finally make a video. So let me first show you how it looks before we get started. And on this particular swatch, I wove in the end right here on the edge. And if you look at it, you can kind of see that it's there. It's a little bit bulkier than farther down, but if you look at it at a distance, you really can't tell that much that it's there. Maybe the bumps on the sides of the double crochets are gone, but other than that, it looks pretty good. And when you get really close, it's hard to tell. That's what's going on right there. Now, when you're working on a flat piece, a lot of times you're going to put an edge right over that, and there's not that much bulk right there. You'll notice it's pretty much the same size as the rest of the piece. So you can crochet right over the top of weaving in your ends and not have to worry about it. So let's get started with how to weave in an end. And the first thing you want to remember is that you need to leave a decent size end. I recommend 6 to 8 inches. This is a little bit longer. This is probably closer to like 16 inches. But I wanted to make sure I had enough to show you what's going on. The first thing you want to do is you want to put your yarn on your hook, or not on your hook, on your needle. But before we do that, I want to talk about using needles when you're weaving in ends. My personal preference are these metal needles with the bent edge, and you'll see as I am working on weaving in this end that the reason why I like the bent end, it allows me to get where I need to go very easily. The one thing I want to recommend to you too is that if you're going to pick a needle to weave in ends, don't pick plastic. The reason being, plastic is usually done in a mold, and when they unmold it, there's seams on either side. And they, as much as they try to make them nice and smooth, there's always a little bit of a rough edge there. And what tends to happen is those rough edges catch on the fibers of your yarn. And then what happens is it pulls, and it can ruin or distort your fabric. And I've had a lot of mishaps with that, so I don't recommend anything but steel needles. You can use any size. You always want to pick a size that works with the size yarn you're using. I happen to be using worsted weight right now, so I'm using a big tapestry needle, but if you're using fingering weight or even lace weight, you might need to go with a smaller needle. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my yarn on the needle. And always make sure there's a little bit of a tail there so it doesn't fall off. And then what I do is I call this the 1, 2, 3 method. I don't know what my grandmother called it. I just call it that because I use 3 steps as I'm weaving in. And we're going to get started. So you're going to start as close as you can to where the yarn is coming out. And you'll notice here's the knot that ends the swatch. And that's where I want to get started. Now, you're always going to work your yarn through the rows of the fabric, never across the stitches. Now, the reason you don't want to go across the stitches is a couple reasons. One is that it makes it easier to buckle your fabric, and nobody wants that. And then the second thing is that it's more visible when you're going across the fabric rather than going down through the rows. So let's get started. First thing you're going to do is go underneath the first strand of yarn, and you'll notice that my needle is going right underneath it. So I'll do that again, right underneath, so you can see the needle is going right through underneath it. And you're going to do 1, and then you're going to do that again for number 2. Here's number 2. So both strands the needle is going right underneath them. Now number 3 is different. Number 3, you're actually going to find the next strand, and you're going to use the tip of the needle to split it. And you can see right there where I actually get a little closer, I actually split the fibers of the yarn. We're going to do that again. Underneath 1, underneath 1, underneath 2, split number 3, underneath 1, oops, I split that one, underneath 1, underneath 2, split number 3. Now when you do this, oops, I just pulled everything out. Let's fix that. 1, 2, and split number 3. Now when you do that, I'm going to leave the needle like that for a second. You want to go at least an inch across. This looks like probably almost 2 inches across. And with wool yarns, that's usually good enough. 1.5 to 2 inches is more than enough. You want to go at least 1 inch, but 1.5 looks great. If you're using a yarn that's slick, like maybe a nylon or a silk or something along those lines where the yarn tends to slide, you're going to want to go 2, 3, 4 inches maybe. So this is good enough for the wool yarn that I'm using. So once I've got it in there, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pull through. So I'm going to pull through just like that. And then what I do is I kind of pull it a little tighter and then I work it. And you'll notice you can kind of see where it's at, but it's not too visible at this point. So now the biggest question I get with this is, why do we split the yarn? And let me tell you, the reason being is that yarn actually consists of fibers. And when especially with wools, they kind of want to stick to each other. So the way my grandmother described it is that the yarns want to lock into themselves. So by splitting the yarn, you're splitting some of the fibers and you're making them rub against each other. And by rubbing against each other, they tend to want to be sticky, and then the yarn won't pull through. I'm trying to pull my fingers apart and they're so tight right now, I can't pull my fingers apart. Same idea with the yarn. So now, this isn't finished quite yet. Now we want to go back the way we just came to finish up the weaving in of the ends. So first thing you want to do is look for the yarn where you just split that strand, and instead of splitting it this time, you're going to go right underneath it. That's 1, 2, and then I'm going to do 3 at the same time. Right here is the strand that I wove in, and I want to try to split that strand if I can see it. Now all the time you're not going to be able to see it, but when you do see it, if you can do it, split it. So I split this guy. Oops. Now I'm going to go under 1, under 2. Now I can't see the yarn, so I'm going to do 3 right here. And then 1. And then this is one that was split before. I'm going to go 2 underneath that one. And then here's 3. I'm going to split the yarn that I wove through. And then the last I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to make the split as close as I can to where the yarn started. And then I'm going to pull that through. And then I'm going to work it a little. And sometimes you have to work it a little more. And then you're going to cut. Now to cut the yarn, what I do is I tug it just a little bit to make it pucker. And then I cut the yarn. And then what I do, you can see the tails right there. I just kind of work it so that the tail gets tucked inside. And now you can see, you can kind of see where it is, but at a distance, it's a little puffy, but not too bad. I would, on this particular piece, I would probably go a little closer to the edge. I just wanted to make sure that you could see what I was doing. And usually I will work right on the edge, kind of like I did on this side. You'll see that right here I worked right on the edge. But I wanted you to be able to see where I was going here. So you can see it's a little bit puffier here. But as you work it, and usually after I'm done, I sit here and I'll play with it for a little bit. And after I block it, that'll disappear. In fact, it's already starting to disappear. If you look, oops, I'm going to pull that down. There you go. It's already starting to disappear. Now, if you're working in the round, there's a couple things you want to remember. You're always going to want to try to stop the yarn at the end of the row or round, excuse me, so that all of your seams are going to be, or all of your woven in ends are going to be right down the middle of the back. Usually that's why when you're working in the round, wherever the seam is, that is the back side of your hat or glove or whatever you're working. And again, you're going to work down and back. You're never going to go across, because again, you're going to see it a lot more than you see it right here. And the other thing I want to mention that I forgot to mention at the beginning is that when you have your tails on a flat piece, you always want to make sure they're on the outside edges. You never want to try to do it in here. The chance of seeing your seam is so much easier, or not your seam, the chance of seeing the woven in end is so much bigger, even on the wrong side or on the right side of the fabric, if you do it in the middle of the yarn, or in the middle of the project rather than on the edge. So that's just a big tip that I want to make sure that you guys got. And that's how I weave in ends. Now, before I go, I want to just make sure that I say thank you to Cascade Yarns. They sponsored this video by supporting me with the yarn to make this video. The yarn I actually used is their Cascade 220, which is the favorite for everyone to felt with. And this is the color green tea. So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my videos here on YouTube so that you can get notified of when I put one up. And I hope you have a good day. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.